Hey there, welcome to my channel. I'm Ashley, and today we are doing a yoga flow to unblock the throat chakra, also known as Vishuddha. And this chakra is responsible for our ability to communicate and our ability to transform ideas and things like creativity into an actual tangible thing. So it's really common for this chakra to be blocked whenever you have someone, let's say, who was raised in a household that was super controlling, where maybe they didn't have the ability to express themselves in some way or another. And so in adulthood, that can look like an inability to like defend oneself or to be able to express how you're feeling, make your ideas actually happen, and so on and so forth. Even in adulthood, if you never before experienced a blocked throat chakra, it can actually happen out of nowhere. You can have like the same situation as in childhood where maybe you have a super controlling work environment or an environment where you're not really able to express yourself. And this can also, over time, create a blocked throat chakra. So what we're doing today is we're really focusing on the neck and on some sound. So we'll be making some weird sounds throughout this class as well. So hopefully that doesn't scare you off. So for today's props, I have two serape style blankets, yoga blankets, and they are for shoulder stand. You don't have to use these, but I highly recommend you do for safety of your neck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Feel free to close your eyes, take a moment here to just drop in and center yourself, greeting yourself where you're at today. Sitting up nice and tall. Even leaning back slightly so your weight is right above your sitting bones. Take a full breath in. And on your exhale, let out a vocal sigh. And gently open your eyes. We're going to start with a breathing exercise that comes from the Ghosh method. Interlace your fingers, bring your fingers to your knuckles, and then your palms together, fist into your chin. Push it nice and snug together, chin into fist, fist into chin. And on your inhale, we're going to reach elbows up as high as you can and act like you're cracking your knuckles. Exhale, push your knuckles into your chin, pull your elbows forward and together, and push your head back, all while pushing your chin back into your hands. Big stretch to the front of the neck. Inhale, elbows up, look forward. Exhale, chin up, head back, elbows forward. Now we're going to add to it with the sound hum on the exhale. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, hum. Yes, I know it's weird. Inhale. Exhale, hum. Inhale. Exhale, hum. Bring your head back to neutral. Release your hands. All right, one weird thing out of the way. Come into downward facing dog. Take your hands a little further out in front of you, your feet a little further back behind you. Push your hands down and forward, your feet down and back. Lift your armpits away from the floor. Move your ribs toward your spine. Feel free to wiggle out a little bit if you have a little extra energy or you just need a little extra movement. Otherwise, be still. Throughout the practice, especially because we are working with the throat chakra, if you feel compelled to make noises with your mouth and your throat, by all means, have at it. The more, the better, allowing that energy to really release and become something you can actually hear and experience. Bring your feet together, take your right leg high, then bend your right knee. Begin to stack your hips, but keep your left shoulder as high as your right shoulder. Now, push your foot toward the wall at your left And then look under your armpit for your foot. Reach your leg back up. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Lower your back heel to the floor for a dog lunge. Widen your right knee to the right. Tuck your hips underneath you. And then just let your head drop loosely toward the floor. Maybe shake your head a few times, releasing some of that tension in your neck. Downward dog. Left leg high. Bend your left knee. Stack your hips again, keeping your right shoulder as high as your left shoulder. Then look under your armpit for your foot. Square your hips. Step your left foot outside your left hand. Right heel to the floor. Walk your hands forward and to the right. Tuck your outer left hip underneath you. And breathe here. Let your head hang. Downward dog. Take your knees to the floor. Have your legs about hip distance so they're not all the way together. And then take your hands back a few inches. We're going to aim chest to floor, chin to floor in front of your chest. Again, getting this nice big stretch to the front of your neck. And hold here. Feel free to walk your hands back a few inches. Push your chin into the floor, separate your teeth. Slide forward, hips back, shoulders back, cobra pose, curl up. And then push your head up and back rather than crunching your head to your upper back. Keep your neck long. Push up to child's pose, knees wide, big toes together, forehead, tip of nose on the floor. Relax everything. Come back up to all fours, back to downward dog. Lift your right leg high. And then step your right foot between your hands. Keep your back heel above your toes. Lunging warrior one. Inhale, reach your torso up. Arms up, keep your hips low. To add your head, pull your head back. Lift your chin up. Again, keeping the back of your neck long rather than crunching back. Lower your hands to the floor. Add a twist. Take your right arm up toward the ceiling. When you turn your head to gaze toward your right fingers, what tends to happen is chin comes to your shoulder. For a lot of people, try to keep your chin away from your shoulder, away from your chest as you turn your head to the right to keep that elongation in the neck. It's much happier that way. Downward dog. Lift your left leg high. Step your left foot forward. Second side, lunging warrior one. Inhale, lift torso. Lift arms, pull your throat back a little. Lift your chin, keep the back of your neck long. Gaze soft. Jaw soft. Lower your hands, right hand to the floor. Add a twist, left arm up. Chin away from your chest, away from your shoulder as you turn your gaze to the left. Keep your teeth apart from each other so they're not clenching. Downward dog. Lower your knees, 8 angle pose again. Take your chest between your hands, chin to the floor. Cobra, hips down, shoulders back. Curl back, long neck. Child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Rest forehead, tip of nose to the floor. Lift your head, come up to all fours. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Keep your back knee down, but have it slightly behind your hips. Lift your hands up to your front thigh. And then from here, push your hands down and forward into your thigh. Pull your ribs back and lift up through your sternum. Pull your shoulders back. And now reach your arms all the way up over your head for monkey lunge. Press tailbone forward, ribs back, maybe curl back. Same thing as warrior one lunge. Keep the back of your neck long as you lift your chin. It's like you're trying to lift your chin up and forward toward where the ceiling and wall meet. Now take your left hand to your left thigh and your right arm stays up and turn your torso to the left. Keep your chin, again, away from your chest and away from your shoulder as you turn your gaze to the left. Lower your hands, step back to all fours, step your left foot forward. And from here, hands to your thigh, lift yourself up, push hands down and forward, ribs back, tailbone forward, lift your sternum, shoulders back. Stay here, reach your arms up, lift your chin, look up and forward. Right hand to right thigh, keep left arm up, twist to the right. Keep your chin away from your chest and shoulder as you turn your gaze to the right. Soften your eyebrows, your forehead. Come back up. Come back to all fours. Come all the way down into 8 angle one more time. Chest, chin to the floor. Cobra, hips down, shoulders back, curl back. Child's pose. Hands next to your ears, shoulders back, lift your chin, and sit up. Bring your knees and your ankles together. Curl your toes under for thunderbolt pose. Slide your knees back a few inches, and then have a seat on your heels. From here, we're doing a twist variation. Take your right hand to your left thigh, your left hand flat on your sacrum, right below your lower back, above your butt. Then pull your ribs back, keep your hips squaring forward, and then start to twist vertebrae by vertebrae all the way up your spine. Again, keeping your chin level with the floor and turning your gaze toward the wall behind you. Slightly lift your chin. Look forward, untwist. Switch hands, right hand to your lowest lower back, left hand to your right thigh. Lengthen your spine, shoulders back, vertebrae by vertebrae twist. Chin lifted, gaze to the right. With that chin lifted, it helps to stretch the muscles called the scalenes and also your sternocleidomastoid right on the side of your neck. Turn forward. Bring the tops of your feet to the floor. Separate your knees. And then take your hands so your fingers point up and then turn them backwards so your fingers point toward your knees. And then place your hands on the floor. You can have your knees much closer to surround your hands. That takes some of the stretch away, or further away if you want more stretch. Simhasana, the next weird noises we are going to make. So you'll inhale, and on your exhale, you're gonna stick out your tongue as long as you can and look up between your third eye and make the loudest ha sound that you can. All right, inhale here. Exhale, ha. Inhale. Ha. Inhale. Ha. Breathe naturally. Turn your hands back to neutral and come into a downward facing dog. Lower your knees, lie on your back, bridge pose. Place your feet so they're hip distance flat, point your toes straight ahead, and then walk your shoulders in toward your spine. Push your head, shoulders, and your feet down. Keep your chin lifting away from your chest and the back of your head pushing down as you lift your hips up. Push more through your inner feet, lift more through your outer hips. Feel free to grab either the outer edges of your mat and pull it apart, or interlace your fingers underneath you as long as you can keep your wrists down. Walk your shoulders in again if you did move your arms. Again, keep your chin lifting, backs of shoulders pushing down. Keep that curve in the back of your neck by lifting your chin away from your chest. Push your hips away from your lower ribs and your ribs away from your upper hips. Release your hands. Lower your hips. Rest your knees together. Feet wide, hands wherever comfortable. Go ahead and roll to one side and sit up. Down at the bottom of a screen, I have a disclaimer about shoulder stand, so please read it before you do it. Go ahead and grab your 2 blankets, and you're going to take them so that the folded part is up closer to the top of your mat, and you're wanting to leave space for your head at the top of your mat. All right, so when you have your blankets stacked up like this, you're going to take your shoulders right up to the edges where the folds are. So your head is actually on the floor, not on the blanket. Shoulders on the blanket. Now, walk your shoulders in to start. And we're going to push our elbows down into the floor. You might just be here and you're probably going to be like, okay, I can't go any further, and that's fine. Otherwise, you can start by just taking your legs straight up. Keep pushing the back of your head into the floor so your chin is lifting. Now you could stay here or try to use momentum, push your elbows down and then flip your hips up and then take your feet to the floor for plough pose. So start here, maybe interlacing your fingers, maybe just stay where you were. And then walk your shoulders closer in. And then from here, bring your feet closer together. Push the backs of your shoulders down, lift your chin out of your chest. Keep this. You can stay in plough pose or bend your elbows and then place your hands on your middle back. Try to get them as high up towards your upper back as you can. Now, you could stay here. Make sure your chin is still lifting out of your chest, back of your neck still curving away from the floor. You can either do one leg at a time or both legs at the same time, reaching your legs toward the ceiling. Try to get hips over shoulders. Again, watch out for chin dropping into your chest. Push the backs of your shoulders into the floor for support, stability, and safety. Flare your toes. Don't hold your breath. Notice if you're starting to give up in your shoulders. If you are, it's okay to come out early. Just a few more breaths here. Either one at a time or at the same time. Lean your hips toward the back of your mat and then take your feet parallel to the floor.
Then slowly drop your feet to the floor. Take your arms out straight, either palms flat, or re-interlace your fingers. Maybe take your legs together. You can go ahead and slowly come out here or stay for a couple more breaths and plough. If your hands are interlaced, separate them. Slowly keep pushing your shoulders back. Vertebrae by vertebrae, roll back down to the floor. Bend your knees, place your feet flat. And then slide off of your prop so your hips are on your prop and your shoulders are off your prop. And then just let your legs go straight. We're going to rest here. If you need to come off of your blanket stack, feel free. Otherwise, Shavasana. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, let out an audible sigh. Bring gentle movements back into your body. Reach your arms over your head. Maybe your doggy or your animals come and say hi. Make sure that you're okay. What noises are you making? And then gently roll to one side and sit up. Aww. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope that your throat chakra is much more open and less blocked. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or any requests I also take as well. And if you haven't yet liked this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.